On December 20th, 1968, a young couple went on their first date in a car. They wanted privacy, so they turned the car towards Herman Lake in California. In the car were 16-year-old girl Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old boy David Faraday. They were unaware that a strange man was following them. They had just stopped near Lake Herman when a strange car came from behind. The man sitting in it asked David and Betty to get out of the car. When they refused, the man pulled them over to scare them. A bullet was fired at the rear wheel of their car. Out of fear, David and his daughter immediately ran away from the car on which the man shot both of them. David was hit on the head, and the daughter was hit by 5 bullets on her back. After the scene, the man immediately ran away from the spot. This was the heart-wrenching incident that started the search for an infamous serial killer. Yes, we are talking about the Zodiac Killer. Zodiac Killer is one of the most feared serial killers of the 20th century. During the 1960s and 70s, he terrified San Francisco with his terrifying attacks. He would send letters to newspapers and police officers, proudly boasting about his murders and asking for answers to solve them. After committing his first 2 murders, he remained silent for 6 months, but then reappeared with a second murder case. On July 4, 1969, it was the day of Independence Day in America. 18-year-old Darlene Ferrin and 16-year-old Michael Maisel had gone out in the car to get the fireworks supplies. He noticed that a strange car was following him. To deceive the car, he turned into the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park. But the following stranger also came into the parking lot behind him. First, he parked his car parallel to them, but after a few seconds he reversed the car and went away. Seeing this, Darling and Michael took a sigh of happiness, but this happiness was only for a few moments. The stranger car came again, and this time, the car blocked the way and parked at the back. A person came out with a powerful flashlight in his hand, which he hit on the faces of Darlene and Michael. Initially, they thought that perhaps it was a police officer, but with this, the person shot both of them. Darling died on the spot, but Michael survived with injuries. After some time, 3 children present nearby called the police. Michael had seen the face of the murderer and helped them. The police later got a sketch of the murderer made. The most surprising thing about this incident was that on the same day after the murder at 12:40 in the night, the Vallejo Police Department received a call from a stranger who was calling from a phone booth, but he disconnected the phone before he could say anything. This was the first phone call made by the Zodiac Killer to the police. After about a month, on August 1st, 1969, the Zodiac Killer wrote letters to 3 different newspapers. He also confessed to the responsibility for the murder in Lake Herman in 1977 and the murder of the girl who died in Blue Rock Springs Park on Independence Day. To prove his point, he told some details which were known only to the police, such as which bullet was fired, how many bullets were fired, and what clothes were the victims wearing. Along with the letter, the Zodiac Killer had also sent an encoded message, and he demanded that this message should be published in the newspaper the next day, otherwise he would commit murder in this encoded manner. The cipher was sent to intelligence agencies for decoding, but at present, this cipher could not be cracked. After the cipher was published in the newspaper the next day, a couple belonging to San Francisco cracked this cipher on the same day. It was written in it, "I like killing because it's so much fun. It is so much fun then killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill." He also wrote that he believes in the afterlife and that whatever people he is killing will be his influence in the afterlife. After the letters written to the newspaper, there was silence for 2 months, but the Zodiac Killer once again appeared with a new case. On September 27, 1969, a college couple, Brian Hartness and Cecilia Shep, were present on the banks of Berryessa Lake for a picnic. Noticed a man approaching them, wearing a black hood with the Zodiac symbol on it. As he approached, Zodiac pulled out his gun and demanded money and car keys from the couple. Brian had 75 cents at the time. He gave it to him along with the car keys. Meanwhile, he returned the car keys to Brian and tied their hands with a rope at gunpoint. Then he took out his knife and stabbed both of them several times, thinking that both of them were dead. The Zodiac Killer went back to the car and wrote a message on the couple's car and fled from there. In that message, the name of the place, date, time, and name of the weapon were written. When a machete present nearby found the couple in an injured condition. She was breathing and was taken to the hospital. But Cecilia died despite her injuries, while Brian survived and told the police everything about the incident in some detail. Like his previous murder, Zodiac committed suicide at 7:46 p.m. on the same day. But he called the police and told all the details of the murder. Here the police found a special pattern in Zodiac's actions. Firstly, he used to target only young couples. Secondly, his attacks used to happen only on weekends or around holidays. Thirdly, he used to attack in the dark of night or in the evening when there was little light. Fourth, whoever he killed, he would proudly display it as if he was challenging the authorities. Fifth, most of the murders were committed at places which were well-known dating points. Sixth, most of the murders were committed in the vehicle. And finally, the seventh pattern was that most of the murders took place near water. These 7 patterns show that perhaps Zodiac is disappointed in love or has a special hatred for his girls, because 2 of the last 3 attacks the boys survived, although the police had no idea that Zodiac's next target was going to break this pattern. Just 2 weeks after the previous murder, on October 11, 1969, Zodiac killed a cab driver named Paul Stein at 9:30 p.m. When the driver reached his destination, Zodiac waited for the car to stop and then shot Paul Stein at point-blank range. Zodiac then got out and sat in the front passenger seat, sat and cut a piece of Paul's shirt, and took it with him. During this murder, 2 children were watching the entire scene from the 2nd floor of a nearby building. They immediately informed the police. They immediately turned to Maple Street, and on the way they had a confrontation. This happened with Zodiac, who was walking on foot amidst light fog. Now, because the police were searching for a black person, hence they did not get much suspicion on Zodiac because he was not black. The police stopped Zodiac and asked if something strange has been seen in this area. From ahead, Zodiac told that a person has gone in the next street waving a gun, so the police hastily went in the same direction. However, if the police officers had come down and seen Zodiac, they would have seen bloodstains on his jacket. Apparently, Zodiac had once again managed to escape from the clutches of the police, but the police found Zodiac's fingerprints in Paul Stein's car. After a few days, Zodiac again wrote letters to the newspapers and revealed the entire story of Paul Stein's murder. Told the story exactly, and also sent a piece of Paul Stein's shirt for proof. This time, he had threatened to attack the school bus. This threat created a wave of fear in the entire area, and the police searched the entire area for the next several weeks. Started chasing school buses, but there was never any attack on the school bus. With the help of children who had seen Zodiac, a new fresh sketch of Zodiac was made and distributed among all the taxi drivers, but this time, Zodiac in a new way. On October 22, 1969, just 10 days after killing the taxi driver, Zodiac called the Oakland Police Department and said he wanted to talk to Melvin Bailey, then a prominent attorney on a TV show on Channel 7. It was a talk show which started before time that day. After waiting for some time, Zodiac called, but the phone was disconnected. When he called next time, the call lasted for a longer time. In this call, Zodiac told his name as Sam. During the entire show, he made 35 calls, out of which only 12 were on air. During the calls, the lawyer asked some questions to which Sam kept answering directly. Later, it was found out that Zodiac had not made the call at all, because the people who had heard the real voice of Zodiac, they all said that it was not the voice of Zodiac. Investigation revealed that this call was made by a mental patient present in Napa State Hospital. After a few weeks of the TV show drama, newspapers started talking about Zodiac. 2 more letters were received from him. Among these letters, there was an encoded cipher which he wanted to republish in the newspaper. The first cipher was cracked in a single day. This time it was much more difficult, which would take the next 50 years to decode. It could not be done. A few years ago in 2020, 3 codebreakers decoded this cipher with the help of computer software. In this cipher, Zodiac neither told anything about himself nor gave any important clue, but definitely said that in the TV talk show, the caller was not me, but the police finally got a clue in the letter he had written to the newspaper editor along with the cipher. This time, he was threatening the police that he had made a bomb which was found in his basement. This was the only thing useful in this letter written on many pages. If he was really telling the truth, then it means that Zodiac does not live in an apartment, but in a house with possible basement, and at that time basements were in the Bay Area. It was not so common, that is. Zodiac does not live in the Bay Area. Perhaps Zodiac had made a mistake by telling about the basement of his house. 5 months after these letters, on March 22, 1970, Zodiac tried to kidnap a woman named Kathleen Johns on Highway 132, but luckily, she escaped with her life. When the police showed the sketch of Zodiac to Kathleen, she immediately recognized him. For the next 4 years, Zodiac kept sending many letters and ciphers. In some, he would tell the details of the murder, and in some, he would write a review of the movie. In a letter, he also told the location of the bomb, but the police neither found any bomb at that location, nor any explosion took place. His last letter was received on 30th January 1974, in which he had written the score of his murder like this: Me 37 SFPD 0, that is, I have committed 37 murders, while the San Francisco Police Department's score is 0. But the police said that Zodiac is giving higher numbers in Azarette, whereas the number of murders committed in his style is only 5. Like the police and other law enforcement agencies, that the CIA, after doing deep research on Zodiac's behavior and his method of murder, concluded that Zodiac is not an ordinary person, but has military-grade knowledge. The footprints found from the crime scene are also said to be of the shoe. He is a wing walker, which is normally found in a military store. Apart from this, he may also have experience in cryptology and ciphers, which he may have acquired during his stay in the military. Now, because the Zodiac Killer had created a fear in the whole of America, and he also got a lot of attention. And amidst this, many people also falsely claimed to be Zodiac to get attention due to which it became more difficult for the police to search for the real Zodiac. Initially, the police's suspicion fell on a person named Arthur Lee Allen. There was a lot of evidence against Arthur. One was that he had a military background, and second, a watch was found from him, on which Zodiac was written, and the logo was also made. But neither Arthur's handwriting nor fingerprints matched with Zodiac. He remained in police custody for many years. After living there, he died in 1992. The second suspect of the police was a man named Richard Gayko Ski, because his appearance resembled Zodiac's, but apart from this, his handwriting and fingerprints did not match with Zodiac's. Similarly, the police picked up a total of 50 people without any suspicion, but none of them was a criminal whose entire profile matches with Zodiac. Of course, this case got immense fame, but in the real world of Zodiac Killer, it still remains a mystery as to who was Zodiac and why did he kill so many people. He murdered people, and what was his real motive apart from the story of life after death? I hope you all will like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next video.